Hello and welcome to a very wet Sunday at Daytona Milton Keynes. My buddy Maurici and I decided to enter a open sprint race here at Daytona Milton Keynes. As you can see, it is very wet. It's in the middle of Storm Dennis, so a good way to spend a wet and dreary Sunday. Now, one thing that should probably have given me a bit of an alert as to this car and the quality of this car is the fact that when I got in it, the engine was off. And these carts had just been brought in from a session prior to us, and every other cart was running. Didn't think anything of it. Pedals felt really odd. You can see me just tapping the pedals a fair bit there. They're kind of rocking side to side. Just assumed to arrive and drive kart. Right, let's get on with it. Yeah. Anyway, guy starts the engine for us. You can see here has a bit of trouble getting it to idle, so he holds the throttle open for a while. Again, probably should have been a bit of a warning sign, but you know, hey ho, it's wet, who cares, let's just get on with it, right? So that's what we do. You know, we're prepared, we've got a wetsuit on, I've got my awesome 100% winter waterproof biking gloves on to keep my hands warm, so that's all good. And I'm first out as well, so I'm going to be the test dummy for the conditions out there today. And now is probably a good time to say that I have never done a properly wet kart session before in my life. I have been out in greasy conditions and drying conditions, and I've loved it. It's great fun. Love sliding around the place. It's pretty damn awesome, but never anything like this. Now we're fortunate in that the heavy rain that we had just let up, literally as we walked out the door of the building, so it's not raining, but you can see there's standing water everywhere. So we go into the first corner, do the understeer test, it just goes straight on, so we know straight away that there's understeer, but it kind of feels okay. I've not done any wet racing here before, so I have no idea what the wet lines are. You can see there I kind of try and follow a dry-ish line somewhere in the middle, and on the exit get very loose, and again here turn in too early, just understeer straight on and then oversteer all the way around the corner. So the first things that I'm finding here is, yeah, there's no grip at all, but the kart's responding really well to the inputs. My steering inputs are kind of reacting okay. It feels quite sluggish on the throttle. You can hear, like on the revs building, it just really slow. And you heard when the guy started the engine, and you can hear now it doesn't sound great. In these kind of wet conditions though, I'm not going to use the engine as an excuse for the pace, because I just don't think it really makes much difference. It's all about how fast can you get around the track on the wet lines. So yeah, so we're just using this kind of open practice and qualifying session just to feel my way around. Everything kind of feels okay. This corner is mad fun because you just turn in and understeer straight on, and you just see all that mud and grass banking in front of you, heading right at you. And this hairpin here, God, that was the bane of my life through this whole session. I just could not work out how to take it. And what you'll see is I'm kind of doing all right here. I'm sort of, you know, I'm getting the kart round okay, handling the oversteer okay, but I'm not really finding the grip. And it's tricky because I know that kind of the standard lines are where the least grip is. You can feel it in the kart. But you have to try different things on every lap in order to work out where the grip is, and I'm sort of just feeling my way around really, and not really establishing anything different. Again, you can see here just massive understeer on the way in, and then oversteer immediately, and the kart bogs down, and yeah, there's just no pace. And I think, to be fair, I've said that the engine isn't really an excuse for my lap times. My lap times were okay. But when you look later on, you'll see me follow somebody else through a similar corner, take exactly the same line, very similar throttle out, and they just disappear down the straight. So I think there probably is something in it, but not really that much. Again, me being a rookie in these kind of conditions is way more time than the actual lack of power from the engine. So interesting through that last corner there, there is a wet line around the outside, but because you go over that concrete section, that gives you grip, and it almost puts you straight out onto the edge of the circuit again where there's a bit more grip. So you'll see me try a few different lines around that corner, and that was interesting. And there you go, it's my first spin. Really frustrating because I've been clean up to that point. But the good news is that there is a guy who is on my left, who is just about to show me how you do it properly. He takes the lead. It's here or coming up shortly, but yeah, there we go. He goes past, and this is good now because I'm not the test dummy anymore. I've got somebody else that I can follow. So yeah, he's taking a much different line than me through there, and quite instantly you can see much better exit speed. And so I'm just thinking, right, okay, I'll follow this guy, see what I can do. There's my dry line through there, and that's sliding all the way around the exit, and again you can see he takes the wet line and he's off. And here I follow him, and it works really, really well. Loads more grip, and you know, get a straight line. And again, I think I took that better than him because I was on the throttle really early on straight line out the corner, but he just shot off down the straight. There we go, decent corner through there as well. And then pushing around the outside here, trying to find the grip on the outside. Pretty good acceleration on the exit, using more track. I'm guessing decent, but again, look how far ahead the guy's got. So yeah, combination of just being better in the wet, and I think, yeah, my car's definitely not right. You'll see all these excuses, racing driver excuses. You'll see the reality of it very, very soon. There's a good reason why I'm saying racing driver excuses here. So yeah, here we go again. Another guy coming inside. This guy's just undertaken me there. He had the fastest lap in the wet by a clear 3 seconds on anyone else. So this guy was quick. Again, I spin again, just trying to follow him. Got no grip through there. What was interesting on that guy is he used all of the curb on the exit. Now I don't know if he does that every time or just because he was going past me. I got shown a curbing board for using that, so I don't think he can use it every time, but again, I just could not work out my way around that corner. So coming up for another lap here. Again, two quick guys ahead of me. Just want to try and follow them and make the best as I can through there. Got that section quite nice, using more track on the exit. Little braking, track it around the outside. Again, this is good. A bit more grip, a bit more drive out of the corner. Tracking over to the left, going really deep on the brakes. Slide it around there, it's quite nice, turned it in. And again on the throttle, nice and early, pushing down the back straight, it's all good. Come down here, this is sketchy as hell, massive understeer, straight into the tyre barrier. So that, yeah, it's kind of round one to the tyre barrier there. Tyre barrier will make another appearance later on, you'll see, it's an interesting impact. But again, decent exit out of that hairpin there. I'm a bit tentative through this section, take a bit more power through there later on. Nice wide line here, plenty of drive out, all good. Again, you can see there's a guy on my left here. So I got a decent exit, so you know, got clear on the left, there's no one beside me. Push into this corner, just a little bit of understeer, grip comes back, no worries at all, onto the track, no one next to me. Turn in here, nothing happening, use the curb, same thing with the other guy. Boom, there he is. Don't know what the hand gesture was, seemed all good to me, it's a clean overtake, no problem at all. I'm going to try and keep with him. So again, he took a much wider line there, which I think was a better line, never got that corner quite right. So I'm just going to try and keep up with this guy, and I think what you'll see is he doesn't really get away from me, so the other two guys have clearly disappeared, but here now we've got somebody who follows a similar path to me, and yeah, we're just going to try and follow his tracks and see how we're doing. And this is really interesting for a session like this, because you very rarely, I mean, you know, it's the UK, right, so it's wet all the time, but the reality is you very rarely get to kart in conditions this wet. And, you know, the kart's on slicks, so there's really no grip at all. Really interesting watching his line there, he went really, really deep, and I think I'm kind of catching up with him a bit now. I went a bit narrower there and got on the throttle a bit earlier, and it kind of worked okay. That wasn't great though, that corner there, you can see I was too close to the inside and just slid all the way around, so yeah, not ideal, and he's pulled away from me again. So again we go quite deep, try and cut back, nice exit on the corner there, which was good, and I thought, yeah, that was a winner, so I should close the door, but look how far ahead he's got, it's just absolutely shot off. So yeah, clearly a difference, I think. But again, just hoping and praying that the understeer grabs back, and it does. Get to this corner, try and slow it down, just try and drive around the outside. That, I think, is the best I ever do that corner. I've never managed to repeat that again, but yeah, you can see they're trying to drive around the outside, just on the throttle. Yeah, that wasn't great. I could definitely do that better if I took more of a wider line through there. Again here, you're just understeering around the corner, waiting, praying for the grip to come back, just staying on the throttle even when the car's pushing wide. This line was okay, nice and clean through there. I could probably have used a bit more power through there actually, because there's loads of track left. All the way around the outside there, loads of grip, all good. You can see he's not really getting away from me, so I'm kind of feeling a bit better that I'm getting the hang of the wet lines here. He's not disappearing on me as much as the other guys did. He's definitely quicker, there's no doubt about that, but he's not quite shooting off on me there. So that wasn't too bad actually. You know, slightly slippery on the way in, but I was able to use the exit and get out. And that was decent there. That was kind of perfect really, using all the track, so that worked well. I'm coming down here and I'm getting a bit more confidence, taking a bit more speed and just letting it understeer through that section, taking a bit more power out through there. That one worked alright I think, it's nice and clean. And again, the guy's not really getting away from me, you can still see him ahead of me there. So yeah, feeling a little bit more confident with the pace. And yeah, slide in and away we go. Yeah, again, that hairpin not so bad. Worked out okay that time. I thought I only really got that right once. And here you see I take a much wider line, but I think cut back too much. I think you can almost follow that pit level around there. Didn't quite manage it. It wasn't too bad, a bit more pace through that corner there, just trusting that you'll get some grip back. Just kind of understeering straight on all the time, but the grip does come back. It's on the outside of the corner, so you just have to hope and pray. It's like a constant faith test that it will return to you. Again, I got that corner all good, just driving around the outside, so it worked fine. And then I think I've nailed this corner now as well, although it took a bit slightly narrower there, wasn't ideal. Yeah, you can kind of see how much exit speed I lost there by going that narrow exit. So see the guy standing out there, we've got yellow flags now from everybody, so we're kind of waiting to let up. So we chilled out a bit, taking a bit of pace off, and you can just see the LEDs flashing there to tell us that we're on yellow. A bit of spin from that guy, a bit of fun, why not? Showing what he's made of, gone to dance, recovery. But you know, we're just about to get lined up on the grid, so no amount of tyre warming now is going to make any difference whatsoever when you sit on a wet track on a very cold day. It's going to make zero difference whatsoever. Just moving my seat back a bit there, just wondering if putting a bit more weight over the rear axles would help me at all. Don't think it did, but you know, psychological games and all this. So here we are, getting lined up on the back straight. Marshall just guiding us as to where he wants us to sit, and then we play the nervous anticipation game of waiting for that finger point of justice to say, you're my guy, you are here on the grid. Now I knew, because I got overtaken by 1, 2, 3 people, I knew that I wasn't going to be on pole, and that's absolutely fine because it's wet. Main thing I wanted to see here was whether or not I beat my pal Maurici. So we haven't seen Maurici yet, but he will make an appearance shortly. So I just want to see if I'm ahead of him or behind him. And here I am doing a lovely forearm stretch because my hand has gone numb as crap, as it always does when I kart. And yeah, just looking around to see him. There he is, there's my boy, number 11 I think. So yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to line up, and then the marshal will come out and point at us and tell us whether where we are on the grid. Fortunate, still not raining, so it's good. There's a bit of water on the camera, but that's just spray from the other karts. So it's a real relief that it's not raining still. But yeah, it's so cold and it's so wet that there's no hope of us having a dry race at all here. It's gonna stay wet throughout. See the guy up ahead there just moving the barrier out of the way, so we're not going to go around the track. We're just going to send us straight through. There's only I think there's 9 or 10 karts in the session, maybe 11 karts, can't remember exactly. So yeah, less karts mean they don't have to queue us up round the corner, so that's all good. Yeah, there we go. So that guy super quick. Number 1, number 2, number 3, all good. And then I'm just going, please be me, please be me. Yay, it's me. Happy with that. Now, do you see what happened there? As I put my foot on the throttle, nothing happened. Nothing happened. I banged my foot on the throttle. I'm ready to go. Car just sat there. Now, why on earth I didn't recognise that just happened? I guess I just thought it was a freak one-off. But I should have gone, right, okay, throttle pedal's not working. Either at this point, gone to them, can you change my kart? Or just realised that it's not working, right? I'm looking around for Maurici, I want to see where he's qualified. I thought it was that guy number 1, but it isn't. Maurici's in kart number 11, so yeah, just looking around to see if I can see him, he's not there. But yeah, so come back to the throttle pedal. In hindsight, I've just sat still for not very long, put my foot on the throttle pedal and nothing happened. And you know, why would that change? Kart's still running, it's still ticking over. Lights are on, waiting for them to go out. And go, go, go! Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Absolutely mugged, mate. Absolutely mugged. How frustrating. It's only an open race, it's only a bit of fun, but oh my god, how freaking annoying is that? So I've gone from 4th to last instantly. And do you know what? At this point, I'm actually like, do you know what? It's all right. I'll fight from the back. I'll make it up, and then this happens. I look up the inside. I get T-boned, and I'm stuck pointing the barrier. So this is pretty much my race over, right? You got 3 quick guys at the front who've just disappeared, who I should be battling with, and I'm now not only dead last, but I'm probably a quarter of a lap behind everybody else. So fortunately it is just fun, so in my head right now I'm like, well, at least I've got a bit of fun trying to catch everybody back up. You know, that's my new challenge, is to see how far from the back of the, right from the back of the pack I can make some time up. So that's the game now, is just trying to chase people down and see how we can catch everyone up. Here we go.
All I can say really, I'm frustrated a bit, I guess. You can see me pushing there, just trying to catch up. Not the best exit, honestly, because slid through the corner, so I was late on the throttle. And here we go, there's a yellow flag, I can see the car up ahead, so just put my hand up. Alright, good news, 1 down, that's cool. So that's 1 person down. Who's next, is kind of my thinking. Just managed to push around that corner, okay, so freaking slow though, so annoying how slow it is out of that corner. So alright, so we're coming up to the end of the first lap. I'm now not last, I'm 1 off last, and I've got someone in my sight, so that's the game now, it's just picking people off and keeping controlling people down. And yeah, you see, massively understeers, not quite sure how to deal with it, bit of kick of oversteer, and I just go, yeah, not that bad, thanks very much. Easy overtake, just drive around the outside again, get a bit too hot in the corner, but you know, it's all good. He's still, well, he was on my left a little bit, but he's gone because I just had a much better exit out of the corner. As soon as we get through this section here again, there's nowhere to be seen now, so it's all good. Head down, on we go, try and find the next person. And I guess the shame here with only having, I think it was 11 field, I can't remember, somebody will do a count for me, that, you know, normally when you have a 20 grid people, you've got a bit of more of a mix. You've got more good people and, you know, some more just average people, and it means you've got more of a battle. But when it's a smaller grid like this, you can see already that people have just kind of disappeared, and it's going to be really hard work for me to draw them in. So I've got someone on a spin, picked off the slowest guy, so now it's about trying to find who next come into my sights. And it's a sprint race, so it's only going to be 20 minutes of racing, 20 or 30 minutes I think. So you know, you don't have that long to try and catch people up. You just got to do your best. That corner, man, that I just could not get my head around that. It was such a slow exit. You know, maybe that was just the way, but it didn't seem right. I was missing something for sure. Normally I try and rotate the car in on the brakes, but as soon as you get that car rotated, because it's so wet, it just spins. You saw me spin it twice before because I was trying to do that, and just didn't work. So you know, I've got to get that sorted. I've got this corner good. No, driving around the outside there, that's all good. That's working fine. Happy with that. This corner as well, I'm happy with. Park it over to the left. Just brake until you get some grip, and then you cut back across flat on the throttle. You know, on the throttle all the way here. Push out nicely. All good. No worries at all. This corner, I'm not gonna lie, this gets the shit out of me every single time. You come into there so fast, not knowing where the grip is or how to take that corner. It was like an unknown quantity every time. This corner again, I've got decent now, driving around the outside. Nice exit there, it's all good. And again, right, you can see somebody's just appeared in my vision ahead. So I'm like, right, next target's on. This is good. Bit of motivation. Lonely race is over. No, it's not a bad exit, it's alright, not great. The car just felt so flat, it was so gutless. It almost looks like it's going slower on the uphill bit there. Good fun, just a touch of brakes, and you just pray that the grip comes back. And as soon as you hit that outside, you're off the racing line, you get the grip and it comes back alright. I actually think that entry was okay. I got on the throttle too quick though. If I was a fraction slower on the throttle, I think I could have held that input and then be nice and straight on the exit, and that would have been quite a quick way around that corner. Probably not overly repeatable from a consistency point of view, but I think it was okay. Yeah, this is just going okay. I think we're catching up alright, using all the track there, that's alright. Can't take much more speed than that, so that's good. Driving around the outside, that's all good. A bit of correction, that's fine. Yeah, I can see him, I'm catching up. Helmet's there. I've clocked this guy and I'm thinking, yep, I'm catching you. Don't know who it is yet, but I'm in my sights and I'm chasing him down. That's probably the way to take that corner there. Just let it slide out again until you get some grip, and then drive it out the exit. It's all fine, using all the track on the exit. It's not bad. Yes, definitely catching this person now. Definitely reeling him in. It's good to see. I'm pretty slow around that corner, so I'm thinking if I get a good exit here, which I don't, I'll be on them. So trailing back up, definitely in my sight.
Looking forward to a bit of a race and a bit of an overtake. Track it round, get the grip, cut back across, and it's me. I'm like, well, oh, that's my mate, it's Maurici. Do you know what? I'm kind of like, I got the place, that's fine, but it's not really how I want to do it. You want to have a little bit of a race and a bit of a battle and have a bit of fun, but I get past him, so it's all good. Not the last we'll see of Maurici. He'll be back again very, very soon. Over now. So now again it's just head down. Just I know I'm not going to catch up with the top guys, but it's about how far up the hill can I get.
Yeah, I think that corner worked quite nicely there. A bit more speed in, right round the outside. Yeah, that was good. So I'm carrying more speed into this section here. Definitely got a better exit there. And yeah, that hurt. That hurt more than it looked actually in the video. It really hurt in real life, because for the first impact knocked me out of the seat, kind of bopped me up, and then it was like the front just tucked into the tyre wall. As it tucked in, it just flicked me up and out of the seat again. Properly smacked my ribs on the seat on the way back down. So I actually thought that impact was going to look much more spectacular in the video, but it really didn't. And of course the annoying thing is Maurici's just skated past me there, probably laughing his head off, thinking, yeah, thank God for that. I've had him on a spin, and I've given him a spectacular view. So you know, let's just go back over that for a second now. You saw I got a better exit out of the corner before, and I was taking more speed in, and I think as a consequence I'm like, alright, this is good, I've got more speed here. So I think I actually braked less than I had been before, and the consequence of that was just understeering straight into the barrier. No good at all. And yeah, it did hurt. It really did hurt. But there we go, that's life, you live and learn. Now it's just, you know, it's back on again. I've got, you know, Maurici's ahead of me. That was a thumbs up to the marshal there, who was showing me a calm down board.
I didn't need to calm down. It wasn't calming down that was not required. It was more skill. I think would have been a better board to be shown there. And you know, there's not much more I can say about the driving technique here. I've reached the limit of what I could do in that session. I don't know if this is the same for everybody else, but I kind of find that once I've followed somebody and kind of got the best as I can from them, the only way I'm going to progress is by sitting down and watching my videos back and seeing for myself where I could go different. You see on that corner there, I turned in much earlier because although I think the quicker way was to brake, roll the car out to the exit, wait for the grip to come in, by that point you're so bloody close to that barrier, and you could see it kind of, it caught, you know, it sucks you in and pulls you into it, that I didn't want that to happen again, so I've decided to go for the earlier turn-in option. And what's really disappointing about the rest of this race is now I think it's just a case of catching Maurici up and overtaking him, and I think there's one other person I get to get past, so maybe it's 9 people in total, so I think I finished 6th. What's annoying is that on lap times, I had the 3rd fastest lap time, so if we'd have got off the grid okay, I think the guy in 3rd and I would have just had such a good race. It would have only come down to spins and kind of cocking it up ourselves, and I think under the conditions, and given that the guy in the yellow helmet has spun a couple of times in front of me already, with a bit of pressure on, I think we'd probably have been an equal match. I had a 1 lap time by a few tenths, not much, but you know, in the race that's not going to count for much. It is just about keeping consistent and keeping pressure on each other. So it is a real shame. I think it could have been a cracking race, and that is just down to having a shit kart, basically. You know, I kind of knew something was wrong. Pedals felt all wonky. Clearly the guy starting it had a bit of issue getting it to tick over, and the engine sounded lumpy as shit, but you kind of just go, right, arrive and drive karts, right? They're not great anyway. But yeah, that was damned annoying to be sat on the start line, plant your foot on the accelerator, get away and just sit there and have everyone mug you. That was really frustrating. The spin at the corner was probably my fault. I went for a gap that wasn't really there, so that's fine, that's just racing, but yeah, damned annoying. If I got away and got off with that pack, I think we'd have had a good race. But there you go, it is just a bit of fun. Unfortunately for me, there was a discount on this weekend, so I didn't pay full price either. I've got more important things in my life to worry about than complaining about an arrive and drive car. So I should probably move on, really. So yeah, here we go. This is the rest of this race now is just about putting in the laps, trying to catch up with the people in front. I've got Richard to chase down again. He's shot off nicely, so he's clearly got into his rhythm. His fastest lap was 2 seconds slower than mine. So you know I can reel him in, but it's just a case of getting the consistency back to track him down. That corner's working out nicely for me now. You see I'm sliding a lot less. I think that's a combination of a little bit of warmth in the tyres now, but also getting that wet line absolutely nailed. You know, there's just minor corrections on the kart to keep it coming around the corner. Oh, I'm shit myself. I'm coming into this corner now because my ribs are still hurting. Everything's still hurting. You can imagine what's going through my head there as I'm heading towards that barrier again. I think that was the best way to take that corner. I think that was the fastest way, is to slide it out to the outside, let the traction come back in, get back on the power and cut back across. But you risk what happened to me before, of you really are just praying that the grip on the outside is enough to catch you before you hit the barriers, and as I found out, sometimes it's just not. So here we go, I've got a body in front of me now. I'm thinking that's probably Maurici, and yeah, my job is to try and catch him back up. I'm hoping that we get a race this time. I'm hoping that we get to challenge each other. You know, it's nice to have a bit of a battle with somebody, especially as it's been a pretty lonely affair so far. So yeah, I can see his helmet now in front of me, I can see the kart. I'm yeah, a bit more motivated. That was a better line through there, I think. Nice wide line. Just kept cutting it short. It's funny watching it back. I thought I was doing that all right, but I can see loads of mistakes. Not taking enough speed through that corner. I'm not using all of the exit, for example. Probably turning in a bit early there. I could probably take more speed by taking a wider line and cutting through. I think this corner I'm doing all right. I'm just driving around the outside. That's all good. It's pretty straightforward. and I think this corner I've pretty much got good now as well. So I kind of know, I know I'm catching Maurici, so I think I'm like, alright, I've got this corner okay now, I'm definitely doing better. But even with Maurici, I can see he just pulls away on the straights, and he's heavier than me, and you know, I could tell, having caught him once already, that he was slower than me. So it is putting a seed in my head that, yeah, something might not be quite right, but you know, it is what it is now, so let's just crack on and enjoy it. So yeah, definitely catching. You can see him ahead. I'm bringing him in. He has a nice little slide around the corner there. I think Rich is probably just sliding all around the place and having the time of his life, knowing how much that boy likes to drift. I imagine that is his goal right now. Is you know, he's not in the race. He's just having a damn good time. Yeah, you see him have a big old slide around there. And he spins again. I'm like, come on, mate. Oh, just want a bit of a battle, but he's spun it on that hairpin again. So I'm ahead of Maurici again now. So I think I'm pretty much up to what is it? So we started 9th, 8th, 7th, I think, something like that. So maybe got one place ahead of me that I can catch up, but yeah, I have no idea where anyone else is. So yeah, it's a bit of a lonely race now, I think. Bit of time to myself, bit of thoughts. I guess at this point, I should probably, in reflection, have challenged myself to try things differently. I've got the corners I've got nailed. I'm pretty happy with. That's pretty good. That's all fine. This corner again, I'm just going, oh god, please don't hit the side again. So I turn in a bit early, pushes out wide, gets a bit of grip, and I'm back on the throttle. I don't think that's particularly quick, but I'm safe. That corner's all good, nice and wide, all the way around the outside on the grip. That was sweet. It's all good. So now I'm thinking, can I take it a bit more flat through there? Yeah, it was alright. It was a bit sketchy, but it worked. I think that line's okay. I'm carrying speed from the corner onto the straight, so that seemed okay. I'll be really fascinated to see the guy who won it, who was 3 seconds quicker than anyone else, how he's doing it. He was significantly smaller, thinner, lighter. He was, you know, he was a featherweight specimen. I don't know if that helps. That's funny. That's annoyed me. You know, I don't think the weight's necessarily so much of an advantage in these kind of conditions. Sometimes heavier can be better. I just want to know how he's doing it. When you see somebody that quick, you're like, all right, it's possible. Teach me. So it'd be great to see his video. And yeah, there we go. So I managed to hold that place. I think I just saw Maurici in my peripheral vision as I spun on that corner. But I'm not too worried. I know I can get away, so it's all right. Yeah, so carrying on, pushing through. I think this corner's again all good. Just loads of grip on the outside there. Bit of correction, but all fine. Coming down to this corner. Hoping and praying. Yeah. I think that's the quickest way around that corner. Grip on the outside and on the throttle. Nice and wide around the outside here. Worked well. Hands going numb. Just understeering around the corner there. And on that corner, I think I'd pretty much made up my mind that I wasn't losing too much time by taking the dry line around the apex. This is where it would be awesome for Daytona or kart tracks in general to have a timing board that you can see your lap times as you go round. I'm not going to ask for it on the karts because that's money, that's too much money. They've got the timing screen, it's already there in the viewing area. They've just turned it round to face the track, so we could have a little squint up and see, like it's literally there on the right. And if it showed you your times, then you can start to do that manual process of adjusting each time to see what's quicker. Because at the moment I'm going by seat of my pants feel, what feels like I'm getting a better exit speed. But it's hard to know because, especially in wet conditions like this, slow in is fast out, but slow in doesn't feel quick. So you know, you can push faster into a corner and think, oh yeah, I can carry way more entry speed there, that was much better. But it doesn't work because you don't get the exit speed. But you don't know that, or you don't get to correct that, or know where you can push harder if you don't get the insight and the data. So Daytona, if you're listening, it'd be really, really good for you to put a timing board up there and show us drivers what we're doing so we can improve. I know they do coaching programs and things, but they're really expensive, so it would just be cool for us paying punters to be able to see our times. Ooh, train! And there you go, I'm proving to myself that I'm wrong, right? That looked way faster, taking the wider line through there. Much better exit speed. Probably improved myself much faster in this one. Yeah, you can see there that just heading straight towards the outside, but the grip comes in, it's all good. How do you do this corner? Just understeer straight on, driving around the outside with 0 exit speed. That corner was frustrating me. I probably needed to take more braking, to be honest, but hard to know. You don't want to brake too hard there. You can't brake too hard there because the car just spins out on you. It just locks up and it's so wet. You just got no hope. So hard to do. It's a bit too much exit curve there. Getting a bit sloppy here. It's kind of at this point in the race where you don't really know what's going on. We're a good 25 minutes plus into it. And you kind of don't know how much time you've got longer, so what I tend to do is look up at the marshals and see what their movements are, and I think I saw that guy come out of his box there. I've got a driver ahead of me now, so I've got someone to target. I know this is for places, so I want to catch him up. I want to have a pop. I can see I'm quicker than him as well. I mean, obviously I'm quicker than him. I caught him up from 20 miles behind. Really bad entry there, that's me, because I should have had him on the straight, really. Again, I saw the marshal walking out of his box. I'm thinking these guys are about to show the checkered flag, so I've got one shot to get past this person, is what I'm thinking. I've got a really good exit there, and he just cuts across me. What can I do? I feel a bit bad about that. If he looked in his peripheral vision, he'd seen I'd there and he would have given me space, I know it. I couldn't brake, you know, I was braking, you could see my foot on the brake pedal, but there's nothing I could do. I just give him a tap and spin him out, and I'm annoyed at myself there. That's not how I like to take places. You know, he knew I was behind him. If he'd looked behind him in that second, he'd have seen that I was there. He didn't make a defensive move, he sort of just started pulling over, and I was there. And in that situation, when you get a kart who taps the back of their kart in the front of your car, it only makes the car in front of you spin. I am annoyed for him though. It's not how I like to take places, especially not on the very last lap. So sorry to that fella. I don't think it was my fault. I don't think there was anything I could do to avoid that situation. But it's not nice. It's not meant to happen. But you know, I was a pretty lonely race really. It was good fun. I learnt a huge amount. I was happy to push. Actually, from my other video, my MX-5 racing at Snetterton, where the day before was a track day in the wet, I learnt loads about pushing your braking right out to the exit of your circuit, waiting for the grip, just trusting when you've got understeer or your brakes are locking up that the grip is going to come back, and that did help me here. It helped me to have faith that when you're understeering towards the edge of the track, just wait and it'll come back, and it did. So there we go. That is race done. It was a good fun race. You know, it's just an open race. It's just a bit of a laugh. It was my pal Maurici coming down to see me, and we had a bit of a giggle. Had a nice man day, a nice boys day. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I did it. Really pissed off about the kart, but it is what it is. I wish, you know, I'm a competitive guy. I wanna finish on the podium in everything that I should do, but it's not always going to be the way. You know, in this case, it was because of the kart. I didn't have too many big incidents. You know, I had hit the tyre barrier and had that spin at the start, but other than that, I was pretty controlled throughout. So I think it could be better. But there you go. It is what it is. So you know, this is it. This is the end. I'll leave it here, guys. It's just the final getting out of the kart and a bit of closing banter with Maurici. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learnt something from my my very rookie learning mistakes early on, and how to pick the wet lines there, see the difference.
I'll stick a dry Daytona video up soon, so you can see the difference in dry lines and wet lines. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed. By all means, leave me a comment. You can slate me for my horrific overtake on the last corner there. And if you enjoy it, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching.
As soon as you're ready, you get to make your way back up towards your second area and return all road race gear. That's helmets onto the helmet racks and race suits and glasses.
Outside work.